David McAtee.
I'm David Dohm. I'm the Connection Center Site Manager for Polara Health.
Great. Thank you for meeting me here.
Hey, you're quite welcome.
In the Connection Center.
Yes.
I can see there's lots of stuff going on.
There is. It's not quite done yet, but it's getting close.
And this is not your area.
This is not.
Okay, so let's go to your area.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are at kind of a point of differentiation where you can see the flooring changes. We've got what looks like a secure door.
That's correct.
So tell me about what this point means.
So this area up front is the re-entry area that the Sheriff's Department is organizing and running. And there'll be community partners and access to services here. Then on the other side of this door will be the inpatient program that Polara Health is running, and that will be a secure area.
Okay, so can we go look at those
We
rooms?
certainly can.
All right, let's go. Okay,
Okay.
so where are we now?
So David, this is the entrance to the secure inpatient facility. This will kind of be like a sally port.
Okay.
All of our admissions will come in either by ambulance or police officers. So they will enter through this door, that door will be secured. And they'll undergo a brief assessment here by the nursing staff, just to make sure there's no emergent medical problems and that there's nothing that we need to address urgently. We'll do a brief assessment and a safety check, and then we'll get them on the team.
So this is sort of the first warm handoff, if you
This
will.
is the warm handoff, without a doubt.
Great. So they're never left just to wander wherever they want.
Never are.
Okay.
No. They're, from the minute they walk in this door, and actually before that, they are monitored 24/7 by somebody.
Okay.
And so this is where we take over from the community services,
Okay.
the police officers or the ambulance companies, and we will take over from the police officers and the ambulance companies here, and then from here on, they will be our responsibility.
And there are rooms here with beds.
There are 12 beds here, actually, 2 single beds and 5 double semi-private rooms.
Okay.
And we will be staffed 24/7 with RNs and BHTs, who are technicians. Behavioral health technicians. Yeah. We'll also have a psychiatrist and case managers here to do assessments and to take care of all of our clients' needs.
Now I understand the beds aren't actually in place yet.
They
We'll
are
go
not.
look at the rooms.
We are.
Okay, so let's go look at the
Okay,
rooms.
let's go look at the room.
Okay, so now we are in one of the double rooms.
Yeah, this is a semi-private room, so there'll be 2 beds in here and 2 dressers. As you can see, all of our rooms have nice big windows. They have blinds that can close or open as the client prefers. They're bright, they're airy, and very cheerful.
Yeah.
It's a modern hospital bedroom.
And everything is very secure and safe. And
Yes.
even the doors, I believe those can open both ways.
They can.
And all kinds of good
Open both
safety
ways.
features.
And all the furniture in here will be hospital-grade furniture so that provides a level of safety.
Okay. And as you said before, I believe this will be staffed 24/7.
24/7.
So let's go look at where the staff is going to be.
Will be.
All
Yes.
So we are just outside the room that we were just in.
Yes.
And what is this?
And this is our nurses station. So the nurses will be here, as I said, 24/7.
Yeah.
There'll always be a minimum of 1 nurse and typically 2 nurses on. They'll have medications available to them. They'll have a limited amount of medical supplies. If anyone has a severe medical problem, we would have to utilize one of the area hospitals to help us with that. But we'll be able to take care of most routine medical problems.
Okay. And can we go look at this room?
Yes, we can.
All right, let's go look. Okay. So we are in the nurses' station.
This is the nurses' station. As you can see, it's got good visibility of the whole unit. We also have cameras in addition to being able to physically see. We can see up in the front and other areas of the building. So after hours, we'll be able to monitor and make sure everything's safe and secure. There will be a lot more technology and equipment once we move in. Polara is providing most of that, so we haven't been able to put any of that in the building yet.
Okay. And so beyond this, there is a sort of a day room area.
There is.
Very bright, lots of chairs,
Gorgeous
TVs
day
and stuff.
room. Yeah.
Let's go look at that.
Let's go look at that.
Okay, so where are we now?
So this is our day room. There's a large open area, as you can see, with tables, chairs. There'll be televisions and activities. We'll have cards and jigsaw puzzles and books to read and things like that for the clients that are here. just to help them keep occupied during the day.
Sure.
And in here we have our group room. This will also be utilized for meetings and court cases and things like that as needed, that sort of thing. And there'll be a conference television in there.
Okay, so let's go sit down and tell me a little bit about what services and who is here and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we are in sort of the day room. There's some
Yep.
really nice windows and what will be nice plants for
Yep.
them to enjoy.
Some landscaping, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the services that you all offer here.
So the individuals that come to this particular program are individuals who are determined out in the community to be a potential danger to themselves or others for one reason or another. Typically, someone maybe is suicidal and not recognizing that they need the help or insistent that they won't get help, something of that nature. And then they're either brought to an emergency room or the police are called through maybe Spectrum's mobile crisis team,
Okay.
where they come out to the house and they assess somebody as needing to be hospitalized.
Okay.
And then they would be brought here, right? Most of the people who are brought here to our facility sign in voluntarily.
Okay.
They agree to stay because once we sit down and talk to them and they recognize that it's not jail, that they are willing to come in and get some help and talk to the doctors and that sort of thing. So about 80 to 85% of them come in and agree to stay and are cooperative and voluntary. They usually stay anywhere from 1 to 3 days.
Yeah.
If they remain involuntary, they may stay longer because they have a right to refuse medications and treatment and that kind of stuff. And without that, they're not going to get better. So
Right.
their length of stay may be longer. But most of our clients would stay, 3 to 5 days at the most. And then we would discharge them. We would connect them with services through the reentry program or through Polara Health, and they would get outpatient services. We don't discharge anybody without a safe place to leave, to go.
You're not kicking them out the door and saying good luck?
No, we do not. They must, by statute actually, they must have a safe discharge plan. So that means they have to have roof and walls around them when they leave here.
And you make sure they get there.
We do make sure they get there. We have transportation available as well. Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about what's going on while they're here.
So while they're here, they will get assessed by nursing on a shift basis. We have 12-hour shifts, so a minimum of twice a day and typically 3 or 4 times a day, depending on how much they're sleeping. They'll get to talk with the nurses, the BHTs, and the case managers about what brought them in, do some therapy, some kind of, what can we do to avoid this? What services do you need? An assessment of their needs and their level of care at this point. And they get to meet with our medical providers, usually our psychiatrist, who would then evaluate whether or not they need medications, and if so, start them on those.
Yeah.
Monitor them for side effects and efficacy and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If they continue to need longer-term care and are agreeable, we could discharge them to our level 1 psychiatric hospital,
Okay.
which is over here in Prescott called the Healing Place.
Yeah.
We can also discharge them to our CSU in Prescott Valley, which is where they currently go,
Yeah.
but is currently overrun. So we're looking forward to being able to utilize that for what it's meant for.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are other places that we discharge people to. Sometimes we discharge people to group homes
Okay.
or
Just depending on what their needs are.
depending on what their needs are. Yeah.
Well, this sounds like an amazing service that you provide the community of Yavapai. You're all over the place. And
Yeah.
this isn't your only location. As you mentioned, you got something in Prescott Valley,
Right.
couple in Prescott.
Right. Yeah, so currently, all of the clients that will eventually be coming here are going to our CSU in Prescott Valley,
Okay.
which is swamped
Yeah,
with them,
yeah.
frankly. And that's why we're building this facility, is because we need these 12 beds for those.
Yeah.
And then CSU will go back to being a voluntary-only facility. Short-term like this, but it would just be voluntary people. and probably focus more on substance use and detox over there. We have our inpatient facility, as I mentioned, called the Healing Place, which just recently moved to Whipple Street across from YRMC West.
Okay.
We also have a lot of outpatient services. Oh, and we have a residential substance use service that's 30 to 90 days for somebody who needs longer-term substance use care. We have a transitional living program. We have outpatient services for children, adults, substance use, mental health, pretty much whatever you need, medications. We have an office here in Prescott. We have an office in Prescott Valley. We have an office in Camp Verde, and we have an office in Chino Valley.
Wow, you guys are everywhere.
We are.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I believe there is an element that you do work with the sheriff's office, which we're going to
We
get
do.
a little bit into, but really we're going to let the sheriff's office talk more about that. But briefly, what is that?
Yeah, so right now, currently, we pair with the sheriff's office to provide outpatient services for people discharged from the Verde Valley Jail. We do the ones that live over here in Prescott, and Spectrum takes care of clients that live over in Verde Valley and East County. Spectrum will continue to do that. Once we open this side of the county, then we will be doing even more of that. So outpatient services, all the services that they need, and that kind of stuff. And those are specifically, we have, I believe, 2 or 3 counselors that are dedicated just to do people who've been incarcerated and are struggling with criminal charges and that sort of thing. That's their specialty.
Tell me a little bit. You also work with our Juvenile Justice Center as well. So tell me what you're doing with them.
So our outpatient services also connect with juveniles who are incarcerated at the Juvenile Detention Center and make sure that they are hooked up with outpatient services and a continuum of care once they leave, particularly medications and that sort of thing.
So not just adults, but someone under 18 as well.
Not just adults, it's also for children.
Well, this is amazing. You know, terrific service. I'm so glad you guys are here, and I just appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.